Today, I have a real treat because we're diving way into the layers of reality, like peeling back the universe and looking underneath the hood. I'm talking about a research paper by S.C. Sales called Convergence, the Information Field, Philosophy and Theology in Convergence. So, what's this all about? Buckle up. I promise this is going to scramble your brain a little, in the best way. Let's jump right into it. The core problem at the heart of this paper isn't just what is the world made of, but also how should we think about what the world's made of. For centuries, people imagined that everything, like literally everything, was made of stuff. Atoms, water, fire, you name it. Ancient Greek philosophers, they were obsessed with finding some original ingredient that made up the cosmos. One guy, Thales, thought the answer, get this, was water. Another, Heraclitus, said it's all fire. And then you've got folks like Democritus floating the idea of tiny, indivisible particles called atoms. Cut forward, boom, Isaac Newton steps in, and we get this mechanical universe, like a giant clock ticking away, totally deterministic, totally knowable, at least in theory. But then, and I know some of us remember this from high school science, along comes the 20th century, a total revolution. Einstein shakes things up with relativity, waving goodbye to fixed space and absolute time. Then quantum mechanics rolls in, and suddenly particles aren't even particles anymore. They're possibilities, energy fields, math equations, whatever. Determinism, out the window. Stuff, well, it sort of melts away into a mess of probabilities. Honestly, sometimes I wonder how physicists sleep at night with all these weird equations swimming around. But anyway, the point here is that the whole world as machine idea started to fray, right? And here's what I love about Sales's paper. It argues that after all these revolutions, the universe being a machine, the universe being a flexible space-time fabric, the universe being a haze of quantum fuzz, we're ready for another shift. And this time, it's all about information, not stuff, not matter, information, kind of a mind bender, right? Imagine if what we experience as solid objects or even as physical laws were really more like patterns of information rippling through a giant cosmic field. So let's get into the key ideas and arguments. Sales lays out how the dominant metaphors for reality have changed over history. Matter gave way to energy, then to fields, and now, increasingly, thinkers are treating information as the foundation. There's a lot here, but at its core, the information field concept suggests that reality itself might be best described not by the substances that make it up, but by the flow and relationships between bits of data. Instead of the universe as a machine, or as just atoms whirling through space, we could see the universe as one immense interconnected information structure. And this leads the paper into some fascinating, almost sci-fi territory. What does it mean for philosophy and theology if matter isn't the deepest layer of reality? Well, Sales explores how this information field model could potentially bridge gaps between science, philosophy, and even theology. Sometimes when you look at the latest research in theoretical physics or computer science, quantum computing, for example, you can see people are already thinking of reality as like computational. Maybe what really exists are the relationships, the signals, the pulses of code underneath it all. So what does this mean for you, listening right now? These insights might help us reimagine how we live and relate to the universe. If we see ourselves and everything around us as connected by flows of information, maybe that opens up new ways to think about consciousness, community, or even our place in the grand scheme of things. And that's kind of where Sales leaves us, at a convergence point. Maybe philosophy, theology, and science are all just different languages for talking about the same deep information field, each with its own metaphors, each revealing something unique.